I wasn't afraid of the mist like the Skaa. Mistake. Hey guys, it's Jim Wilborn, author of the Continual Chronicles, and I want to talk to you about The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This review is a deeper dive into the story than a typical non-spoiler review, so if you haven't read the novel yet, circle back around when you have. Unless you're the type who doesn't mind some of the details being spoiled in order to enrich your reading experience. In Brandon Sanderson's second novel, The Well of Ascension, he ups the ante, subverts expectations, and reinvigorates your love for his characters. After the events of the Final Empire, we rejoin the cast and watch Ellen Venture attempt to rule a kingdom justly, a task that proves far from simple. Meanwhile, Vin searches for an imposter while attempting to uncover the truth about the deepness and the lost histories surrounding the Hero of Ages. Like the previous installment, this novel is well-paced with magical action. Vin has to fight some of her most challenging battles yet, and she has become the final line of defense for Ellen. The Final Empire lightly touches on political intrigue, but The Well of Ascension leans in, challenging the characters and the reader to consider what true leadership looks like. I found myself drawn deeper into the lure and magic of this world. When the first novel ended, I thought I'd learned most of what I needed to know about allomancy and ferrochemy. I knew the powers, I knew the limits, I knew the lore. Again, mistake. Sanderson digs deeper and finds new ways to use the magic systems. He explores how different elements of the world are tied together and unveils mysteries that have yet to be answered when the story concludes. For example, in this story we explore the culture and magic system of the Kandra, who can shapeshift into the form of their choosing after digesting the bodies of the form they wish to take. It's a haunting and interesting system of magic paired with a culture of contract-based servitude. Vin receives a Kandra companion, Tinsun, that takes the form of a large dog. I love a good animal companion, and it was fantastic to see their relationship develop on the page. The developing love story between our protagonists is terrific. Set and trust, the two work well together. But, like all relationships, that trust is tested, giving us a beautiful and compelling relationship to follow. We're also surprised with a romance of a very different kind. Patience is required with this volume. The first in the series is paced a bit quicker, but Sanderson slows down a touch here and takes his time, trusting that the audience will enjoy the direction he's taking. While I enjoyed the flow of the narrative, it may be hard to stick to it if you don't trust the author to bring it home. Spoiler alert, Sanderson's endings are always worth it. Speaking of spoilers, at risk of saying too much for those who are watching this without having read the book, there is a battle that is just absolutely epic in this novel. I don't want to spoil the details for you, so I'll just say this. Your jaw will drop. It's good. It's so good. You must love him enough to trust his wishes. Even if you disagree with them, you must respect him, no matter how wrong you think he may be, no matter how poor you think his decisions. You must respect his desire to make them, even if one of them includes loving you. The beating heart of the novel surrounds the aftermath of the fall of the Lord Ruler and how Vin must reestablish her purpose in life. Vin's obsession with protecting Ellen may stem from losing so many people that she gets attached to, the latest of which was Kelsier in the previous installment. This forces her to consider how much more she's willing to lose in this fight. Vin throws herself into protecting Ellen, refusing to lose him. She believes in him, but her past trauma runs deep, and she struggles with accepting herself, with accepting that someone as good as Ellen might love her. Is it possible that perhaps he doesn't love her at all? Vin trusted Kelsier, and she learned to trust Ellen, but now she's confronted with a new internal conflict. Is she simply a tool? Kelsier certainly used her to a certain extent. Is Ellen doing the same? Sanderson presents us with a perfect foil for Vin in the form of Zane, and I can't help but to draw a parallel to another classic hero-villain pairing, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader in Star Wars Episode 5. Follow me down this path for a moment. In Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, both Luke and Vader have similar abilities. though one has a big advantage in having more experience. We also learn about Emperor Palpatine and how Vader is actually a villain that bows to a bigger antagonistic force. We also see how Luke finds himself in a conflict with his loyalty to his friends and a larger game of chess that his mentors, Obi-Wan and Yoda, are playing. During the course of the film, Vader tempts Luke to the dark side, delivering some of the most memorable dialogue in all of cinema history. Now let's look at the Well of Ascension. Zane and Vin are both Mistborn, though Zane has a large ATM advantage over Vin. To a large extent, both of them are tools of men with political power, and in the Well of Ascension, Zane presents Vin with a compelling temptation to join his dark path. The stories don't line up enough for the Well of Ascension to be considered a retelling, but Sanderson's use of similar character archetypes and plot lines makes for some excellent resonance, especially since he chooses to bring some of the underlying themes of Episode 5 to the forefront of the second Mistborn novel, shifting our focus so that we can muse on a different set of values. What's even more well-crafted is how Vin and Ellen appear to save each other from their respective temptations. While Vin is tempted by Zane to join him in establishing a new life, playing off Vin's instincts that perhaps she shouldn't be with the man she loves, Ellen's approach to ethical governance is also constantly tested. But their love for one another is their saving grace. And it's not the love conquers all trope you might expect. Instead, it's their passionate belief in each other, that Ellen is the only person to properly rule, and that Vin isn't the monster she believes herself to be. It's a complex ending that raises a number of questions about moral governance, but let's save that for another time. The novel's ending strongly compels the reader to move on to the final book in the trilogy. There are answers you'll need, and if you don't finish the series, I fear you'll be making a horrible, horrible mistake. But what about you? What did the Vin and Zane storyline remind you of? Were the politics of the story intriguing, or was it all too much? I'd love to hear about your experiences. Just leave a comment below. If you'd like to embark on a new adventure, check out my book, The Seventh Cadence. It's an epic fantasy adventure that blends science into its magic system, and if you like Sanderson's books, there is a good chance you'll enjoy this one too. I don't monetize this channel, so if you're interested in showing your support, that's the best way to do it. A link is in the description below. And until next time, err on the side of awesome.